Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and we got some news that just hit the wire moments ago. Sorry I had to race on over and get to the mic before I could hop on, but roughly minutes ago, roughly 5-10 minutes ago, we've got reports out of the Detroit Lions. Just a kind of cryptic, odd message, if you will, from Isaiah Buggs himself. The much maligned defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions had this to say in a social media tweet or a post that he put out there, just reiterating that he has enjoyed his time with the Detroit Lions, and that unfortunately that time might be coming to a close. Isaiah Buggs' tenure in Detroit potentially come to an end. I cannot say that this is fully confirmed yet, but Buggs on a social media post earlier today, just really 15-20 minutes ago, quote, "Thank you, Detroit, for everything. The past year has been amazing, from meeting new people, playing with great teammates, but the time has come for me to say goodbye. Detroit, 96 out." As we all know, CJ Gardner-Johnson, James Houston, and Ali McNeill are all due to return relatively quickly here. This could be the Lions simply making a roster move for Ali McNeill. I'm going to need a little bit more clarification before I can tell you guys exactly what's going on. And again, I was kind of cut off guard, just like everybody probably watching this video, either now or in the upcoming moments after its conclusion. But what we do know, Isaiah Buggs was an instrumental part of last year's team, their rise to prominence in the NFL, making them one of the hottest teams in the offseason as far as marketability, expectations for this current season. At the start of the year, if you're unaware, Isaiah Buggs, for whatever reason, just kind of fell out of favor with Detroit coaching staff and was sidelined for a number of games. Then, right about the time that Ali McNeill got hurt, we'll say about 2 months ago, Isaiah Buggs returned to the lineup and seemed to be in good favors. If you, just to make sure everybody's on the same page, before his current return to the lineup with the Detroit Lions, I reported through people I've trust that I've known in the media circles, either around Detroit or greater Michigan, for over 30 years of reporting journalism. I'm going to tell you this. Aaron Glenn and Isaiah Buggs got into a very heated face-to-face conversation, and it probably wasn't about Mountain Dew. Somebody was talking about somebody's mama, and after that point, Isaiah Buggs went on the shelf for a healthy scratch, if you will, for a number of games. I'd say probably about 6 to 8 games. Then he returned, and now, weeks after that return, where it seemed like both sides had kind of mend fences, we get this social media post out of Isaiah Buggs, and what it leads to tell me, whatever the beef was before, it looks like Isaiah Buggs might now once again be on the outside looking in of the Detroit Lions organization as we're preparing for the playoffs. All right, let's go to the comments section. One funky, bye, Buggs. Frank, wow. Justin, Buggs seems like a drama queen. Without knowing what today's information is pertaining to, I'm going to hold off making any kind of judgments. But to your point, Justin, I'm going to say this. There seems to be a trend with him this year that the coaching staff is taking exception to. Robert, next man up. That's probably what it's going to have to be. Robert, he to me seems a lot like Sue. There could be some potential similarities. I guess that's what I'll say. One funky, Buggs got let go by Pittsburgh for OT putting in effort in practice, for not putting in effort in practice. I'm almost positive that's what his issues were this season. I saw this coming. David, he will be missed. I would prefer Benito Jones going. Yeah, and I would say this. So you look at everything leading the playoffs. Again, like we talked about, we know that there are several players returning to the Detroit Lions from injured reserve. And so obviously, yes, you have to make a roster spot. As a coach or a former GM, here's what I would say. You're analyzing, basically thin lines between player A and player B at this point. Who's really your go-to guys? How much do you get out of this guy versus that guy? I mean, it is a game of inches. We all know that. And let alone going to the playoffs, it is a game of inches between this guy and this guy. My assumption is at this point, and that's all it is that Isaiah Buggs, they're seeing his performance either in practice, on the field, what he's doing, and what is the difference between him and, you say, Benito Jones? Well, it could be that. Could be now that Ali McNeill's coming back. We're going to put McNeill back in. Who are we going to take out of the lineup? We're not going to carry one more defensive tackle, we're going to have to eliminate somebody from the roster. And I think, and that's all it is, me speculating here, I think that could be exactly what it is. Brian, they need to get rid of 55 on defense. Burns, after that miss safety, could be something to that. But obviously, he's still in favor with the coaches of the Detroit Lions. Frank, Coach Dan Buggs owns a hookah lounge in Bama. Does that sound like our culture? Probably not, to your point. But again, I don't know. I'm going to be as forthcoming as I can be. I do not know yet what the reason is for him being shelved or released by the Lions. I cannot confirm he has been released. I can only confirm what I'm sure 20 billion other people are confirming at this point. The quote from his social media post, Isaiah Buggs, and this is literally 5-10 minutes ago. Quote, "Thank you, Detroit, for everything. The past year has been amazing, from meeting new people, playing with great teammates, but the time has come for me to say goodbye. Detroit, 96 out." And yes, that definitely sounds like somebody who's been informed by Lions hierarchy and top brass that he is not going to be a part of the team here going forward. So we're going to say this. Isaiah Buggs had a lot of good things, but his current season, 2023/4, it's had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of odd turns and twists to it. And what we can say now is perhaps the Detroit Lions have said, we need to move forward from whatever situation, disagreements Buggs may have with Aaron Glenn or whoever else on the coaching staff. Black Lion, no Buggs, question mark. Who's replacing him? Question mark. What's the word on Sheila's meeting with Goodell? Anything. That meeting would, from what I reported yesterday, that meeting will be tomorrow. So, no new news on the, Ford Hamp meeting with Goodell. And to be honest, it'd probably be 24, 48 hours before we get some sort of word out of it, unless she happens to talk to people that are familiar with the media. Now, with that being said, with Buggs, to me, just total speculation on my part, this is probably a strong indication that Alim McNeill is ready to return. And the coaches of the Detroit Lions have looked over the defensive tackle position and said, Isaiah Buggs is the guy we're most comfortable letting go to bring in Alim McNeill to replace him while not detracting from other positions on the team. Troy, what happened? Buggs put out a cryptic message basically addressing everybody in the Detroit Lions fan base, stating his time in Detroit has ended. And again, I'll repeat the quote for those just joining us. Buggs posted on social media literally 10, 15 minutes ago, I guess at this point. Quote, "Thank you, Detroit, for everything. The past year has been amazing, from meeting new people, playing with great teammates, but the time has come for me to say goodbye. Detroit, 96 out." So, yes, he's identifying that his time here with the Detroit Lions is more than likely come to an end. Robert, he may have some personal problems. It could be, nothing I'd be able to report on or be able to inform you guys about. So what I can say is, as I've reported before, the first instance why they shelved him, I can't speak to. The second instance, the one where he was really out for a while, that's because of a direct disagreement in close proximity to defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, the coaching staff. And just my opinion at this point on that part is that you can't tolerate that. If somebody wants to question a call or whatever, there's definitely a way to do it. Getting into the face of the DC and basically the cafeteria of Detroit Lions facilities, and getting obviously pumped up about it, as both individuals were. You probably got to make an example that, hey, that's something you can't do. You're crossing certain lines there. So, all right. Scott, Buggs is a lot like Jamal Williams to me. Love his heart and passion. So he's a feel-good guy. But we want guys who produce on the field more than anything. Yeah, and there's a lot of layers when it comes to identifying the players you want to ride or die with, so to speak. The playoffs, obviously, now less than 2 weeks away. You're doing everything you can to make sure your team's on the right side of things when you go into the postseason. It is a game of inches, especially now that the crop of teams that will still be playing are really drying up here. As far as when you get into that postseason, you got to have a belief that everybody on that roster has significant meaning and a purpose. If you feel like somebody's not going hard in practice or not buying into your system, you got to get rid of them as quick as possible so they don't affect other people. Robert MCDC said he was only going to put the best players on the field 100%. Kevin, hit that like button. Yeah, I on my screen, as I often tell you guys, I can't see what the likes are, but if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making a push to get to 5,400 by kickoff this weekend. I think we're about 50 or 70, subs away. So if you can help out with that, that'd be great. Also, if you would, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. JC, that's not a cryptic message. That's flat out straight to the point. Yeah, and I would say you're right. He's not mincing words. I just cannot confirm yet until the Lions release an official statement, or the NFL if they go through that channel first. But my assumption is, knowing the Lions media staff, they'll release a statement and then it will go through the NFL headquarters. But yes, to your point, yeah, he's basically telling us all what's going to happen to him. All right, Jung D13, McNeil coming back also probably plays a huge part. Yeah, and 100%. I know I mentioned this a little bit ago, but a game of inches, rosters getting tightened up. You're adding a lot of good players. At least I'm assuming most people would consider, Bruce Irvin now is going to be a part of the 53. Lee McNeil coming back is going to be a part of the final roster. You're going to put in C.J. Gardner-Johnson and James Houston. I mean, this also means I think everybody's welcoming these guys back, but unfortunately, it means other guys have to go. And it's a sad situation, but it's part of the nature of the beast. You've got a team getting ready for a playoff push. And let's be honest, after this weekend's game, win, loss, or indifferent, you got to believe the Detroit Lions are actually a threat in the NFC to make a run at the Super Bowl. So in a game of inches, when you're trying to critique every aspect of your roster, you're looking for, who do I take off the board? Who do I put on the board? How do I not overly impact one position over another? I mean, it's heartbreaking when you have to cut somebody. Isaiah Buggs, he's had his problems here in Detroit, especially this year, but he's also bled Hallelujah blue and silver. He's gone out pretty heavy for this team. It's sad, but it does appear that his time is over. All right, Robert G. MCDC also said he didn't want any players that disrupt the chemistry of the team either. Great point to you there. Sounds like he is a problem for them, or this wouldn't be happening, in just my opinion. Yeah, you probably got some good points there, Robert, with 100%. Already did. Well, if you want to hit it twice, go ahead. I'm just kidding, man. Hatman, just more reason to get D-line in the draft. And it could be something they look at for sure. I know I'm thinking we'll go defensive line, offensive line, and probably cornerback. It just come down to what's the best value at each particular pick. Frank, Coach Dan, have you heard anything about boy, I always kill his name, Kabinda coming back? Maybe Dan Campbell meant Houston. I don't know at this point. To me, and this is just me talking to you guys, I wouldn't bring him back. I think you've got too many other guys. As little as you use a fullback, I think you've got too many other guys that can fill that spot while maintaining integrity at other roster spots. And I'm not just talking Rodrigo. I think there's a couple guys on this team that when you're going to use a fullback, that 2 or 3 times you would do a game, you don't need to commit a full-time fullback to this roster when it means you can keep a better player for somewhere else, especially like special teams. So we'll see where they go with that, man. But that would be my anticipation, Frank. All right, amateur bros, this only proves AJ got to go. Yeah, I'll give him credit for his defense the last few weeks, but Buggs played decent. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's why I'm a little surprised with today's news, but there'll probably be more news that will come out about in time. I'm kind of shotgunning through this video because, again, I'm up on some coaching duties that I've got to get ready for here in about the next 30 minutes. All right, Robert, they absolutely are 100% a threat. 100% agree. Yeah, there's nobody I would anticipate in the NFC, maybe even the NFL, you could argue, that is looking forward to playing the Detroit Lions. Kevin, got to go. I need my Mountain Dew. All right, I like the way you're thinking. And, yeah, I'll be grabbing one on my way to coaching duties today. Scott, kind of off topic, but still blown away that Kabinda is a name that MCDC has even talked about coming back to be on the roster. Why? That's kind of my point. But, they see him, and maybe they have some plans for him that supersede your and my, knowledge or expectations for the guy. Maybe they think he's a, stalwart on special teams. Maybe they're going to use him in some sort of hybrid roles. That I don't know. I can just tell you, for as little as we use a fullback, I would not be committing one of the precious roster spots we have to somebody who lives in a very limited role. Amateur, just my opinion. No, I agree with it 100%. Bada bing, bada boom. I love that name, man. I think it's just as simple as they needed roster spots for, Gardner Johnson, Houston, Aleem, and there are going to be a couple of tough cuts coming. Yeah, 100%. You're adding some significant players and playmakers back to this roster. It means, unfortunately, some people have to go. And it stinks. Nobody wants to see guys get cut, especially when they've been a part of the team this long. But you have to make choices not based on emotion as a coach or the general manager. You have to make them on logic and what you believe is best for the team. And that's not easy to do. All right, Robert, I think they are coming back. It could be, yes. Robert G, Super Bowl or bust. Woo! Thanks for doing that, man. Boo, just got here. What happened? So just catch up anybody who's joining the show maybe a little bit later. Aleem McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, about 15, 20 minutes ago, whatever it's been by this point. We'll just say in the last half hour, offered this thought, Boo. Buggs on his social media posted, quote, "Thank you, Detroit, for everything. The past year has been amazing, from meeting new people, playing with great teammates, but the time has come for me to say goodbye. Detroit 96 out." And end quote. So that's what I would say. It looks like Isaiah Buggs, and nothing confirmed yet, at least by the time I went on the air here, but it does look like his time is done here in Detroit. Robert G, Monster Energy. I try to stay away from the energy drinks, man. Hatman, once again, thanks for your content. Ric Flair. Woo! And when we win this weekend, and when we win in the postseason, I will do the post-game show as Ric Flair on 100%. Hatman, all right, bada bing, bada boom. There's going to be 2 more cuts coming, 100%. Yeah, they're going to have to make some space if they're going to add these guys to the rosters. All right, this video, I think we're probably good here. If you guys have some other thoughts, go ahead and throw it in the comments section when it finishes here. If there is some more breaking news later today and I'm not on a coaching assignment or out working or whatever, I'll try to get to you as quick as possible. I hope you all have a great day. And hold on, what's this, Robert? Too much sugar for me and Mountain Dew. Yeah, that's why I got to go half diet, half regular, and only from a fountain. Boo, nothing new on Aleem then? No, my anticipation, though, is he's coming back. Southwest Buggs instead of Onsarike. That's Southwest. You got a point there with Onsarike, but, you got to trust the coaching staff has made their call based on sound logic and wisdom. Hey, man, I will tell you that. I'll hold you to that. All right, hold me to the Ric Flair. Fair enough, man. Robert, thumbs up. Thanks, Dan. No problem, man. Did we trade for Chuck Norris yet? I'm going to have to double check on that, but I don't think I can pull off a Chuck Norris. I think I can pull off a Jack Nicholson or a Ric Flair. All right, Gerald, is this the best for the team or emotions from coaches? That I can't answer, man. I can only say this. You have to have faith in this front office and coaching staff that they're making, again, the choice based on sound wisdom. All right, for some breaking news later today, I'll hop on with it. Otherwise, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about 60 or whatever it is away from 5,400, trying to hit that target before kickoff this weekend. Take care, enjoy your days, and we'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys.